Okay, now I'm going to talk about what I bring on the initial leg of the hike, which will be I'll get in Friday night, late, maybe a couple hours before dark. We'll get out of the car. We'll hike a couple hours in the light. We'll catch the sunset, and we'll break out our headlamps and just keep going. On the first night of a section hike, I like to hike a few hours in the dark. It allows us to get a full day of miles in. Plus, I tend to not sleep well the first night in the woods, so I might as well be hiking and getting on down the trail. Obviously, I wouldn't hike in the dark for a particularly interesting section of trail, but if you're just climbing a mountain and you're in the green tunnel, there's nothing to see. You might as well do it in the dark. So we've actually done a lot of night hiking over the years. So anyway, first night, we'll maybe eat a snack or two along the trail, but for the most part, not going to eat much that first night. The next day, Saturday, the first full day of hiking, usually trying to get a lot of miles done. So I've brought more than one meal. Oftentimes I'll just eat one hot meal a day. We'll eat a quick breakfast, maybe even not even at the campsite, but on down the trail a bit, because the goal in the morning is to break camp and get going. But for dinner, it's nice to have that hot meal, kind of hang out a little bit, and just refuel the fuel tank before the next day. But on a long day, it is nice sometimes to take a break. If you're trying to get a 20-mile day in, you try to do it continuous and just snacking along the way, sometimes you just run out of gas. So maybe 8 or 10 miles in, or depending on the trail, you sit down, take an extended break, eat a lunch, press on. Later on, you take an extended dinner, eat another hot meal, press on, and then you stumble into your campsite and crash for the day. So I've actually got basically 3-ish meals here. Got the primary meal, which is Mountain House spaghetti. I buy it in, like I said, I buy it in those 10-pound cans and then put it in freezer bags. It's much cheaper that way. And in the winter, I bring a cozy along to keep, when I add the boiling water to the freezer bag, the cozy keeps the heat in. But when it's summer, it's kind of silly to bring a cozy. I just pour the boiling water in and let it sit there, and it's not going to lose much heat because it's already hot out. I'll bring some Parmesan and hot pepper flakes, add a little more flavor. I've just got a spare ramen that I'm bringing along in case Sage wants a little hot snack. She likes ramen. I like ramen too. Then these mashed potatoes are just there in case we need an extra meal. And this pre-cooked bacon. What I do is I'll take the pre-cooked bacon, tear it up, throw it in with the boiling water, cook all the yummy bacon fat out of it, get that water good and oily. Take that bacony water, pour it in with the mashed potatoes, and eat some bacon mashed potatoes. On the trail, you're looking for high calorie, lightweight, and tasty. Tasty's good. So this is the rest of the food that I'll bring. So those are the primary meals, was the Mountain House, the mashed potatoes, and the ramen. The rest of the food, just got a few bars. I've got like these little breakfast things to eat. We'll have 2 breakfasts actually, because Sunday morning we'll get up early, break camp, and have to hike a few miles before we can get to a hostel or get to a ride into town to go to church. So I've got these breakfast bars to eat. I've got some bars to snack along the trail, a bunch of peanut butter M&Ms, some chocolate candy bars. Not a lot of food here, but when you first start on a section hike, you're often not that hungry, and plus it's going to be hot, so I'm not expecting to have a lot of appetite. Between that and the meals, I'll probably have some food left over by the time we finish Sunday morning. So that's the first section. It's basically a little more than a day of food. And that's all that Sage and I will eat Friday, Saturday, and early Sunday until we resupply.